Welcome to another episode of Rise to Liberty. So tonight is kind of a late night stream. I definitely did not plan on excuse me. I did not plan on starting this late. Trying to adjust my chair over here. But you know, sometimes this is what's going to happen, but I was not about to miss Wednesday's stream. So, thank you all so much for coming in and joining me on this late night Rise to Liberty stream. I'm definitely glad that you guys enjoyed the new intro. I'm trying to figure out how to work it in, but Unsolved Mysteries was absolutely one of my favorite shows ever. I would watch Unsolved Mysteries with my grandma Colleen, and I'm with all of you. It scared the hell out of me. Absolutely scared the hell out of me. Robert Stack's voice, you know, the music, the creepy eeriness. And you know what? That was always something that I wanted to add to the show, was maybe not quite the creepy and eeriness, but I wanted to be able to add, you know, that level of nostalgia. And especially because we're covering, you know, I don't know how many people are getting nostalgic necessarily for the Satanic Panic. I know a lot of people had, you know, a really terrible time, you know, especially if they were affected by it, if their parents sent them off to a camp or some sort of church program or something. But it is something I wanted to add, and the fact that I was able to get the original logo done with Rise to Liberty on it, it just sold it for me. I absolutely loved it. So I'm definitely glad that you guys enjoyed it as well. So what is up? What is up? Thank you all so much for showing up tonight. So we've got kind of a loosely planned show. I mean, within all fairness, all the shows are kind of loosely planned. You know, I have generalized talking points. I know the direction in which I want to move. But tonight is even more loosely planned. I really wasn't sure, but luckily I figured it out. And so we do have a plan. So yes. So Jug the Goat 5343 says, dude, this painted black book is pretty effed up. I completely agree. If I'm being honest, this entire subject is effed up, entirely effed up all the way through. So real quick, for anyone that may be catching this live or on the replay that has not watched this before, just to give you a quick rundown, I, Jacob Johnson, host of the Rise to Liberty podcast, am a former Satanist, and I have decided to take upon this daunting task of tearing apart the Satanic Panic narrative brick by brick. And basically, because I have a unique perspective on it, it's something that I want and feel the need to cover. It is something I was always fascinated by. And also, I have a genuine feeling that the Satanic Panic was real, which is why I'm doing this series, hence the name. Satanic Panic is real. I truly believe that what was basically what the media covered in the news was a way to actually cover up real satanic crimes. Many of these crimes actually took place, and they were committed in the name of Satan, or even just in the name of evil itself. It doesn't have to be necessarily in the name of Satan, because surprise, surprise, some Satanists actually do not believe in Satan as a deity. Some are just super edgy atheists. Some are occultist, whether they believe in it or not. Even the ones that do believe in Satanism or Satan as a deity, they do believe in other belief systems. And that's what we're here to explore. I'm here to explore what Satanism is, the differences between all the different beliefs, and the difference between Satanism and Luciferianism. Here to talk about the cases that otherwise got swept under the rug. So you can go ahead and check out the playlist on my channel. It is just the Satanic Panic is Real playlist. I believe this is going to be episode 10 or 11. I can't remember at this point. Anyways, so that's what we're doing here. So first and foremost, I do want to bring up something that I thought was really interesting. I'm only going to briefly mention this because this is actually something I want to talk about like in depth on Friday's show. And that's particularly Damien Eccles. I want to bring him up real quick. Let's see here. Kind of out of order. Of course I am. Let's see here. So funny thing is, just the other day, if people don't know, Damien Eccles can actually be found on Twitter or X, whatever you would like to call it. I just go with, whatever feels right in the moment. However, you can find him, and he actually blocked me. The reason he blocked me is because myself and Rotting Jules, or Dana, from the Rotting Jules podcast, in his words, attacked him. And because of that, he blocked both her and I. So I thought that was, honestly, I thought it was funny. I thought it was really, really funny. I am a little upset, even though I can still see his profile. The fact that I can't interact with it is what bothers me. Let's see here. I'm trying to find the actual post itself. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Of course. Oh, I love this so much. Okay, give me just 1 sec to get this pulled up. Okay. So, yes, 100%. He is a garbage person. 100% garbage person. At page 90, stuff's crazy. Yeah, it's a great book. In case, see, I actually don't have my copy of it in here, but the book is Painted Black. I highly recommend anyone that's interested in this subject to get yourself a copy of Painted Black. It is a very well written book by somebody who's like so insanely overqualified to write about this subject. Just I don't know. It's wild, but it is a really intense book. It's not a bedtime story for kids. So be prepared for that. However, if you do pick up a copy, make sure and take everything with a grain of salt. The author does kind of have a complete misunderstanding of like the heavy metal community and heavy metal in and of itself. He is an academic, so I kind of expect that. But it is an incredible book, of which we have used that book for some of the content that we've already created. We will also be going through more of the book to create more content, and then eventually, once we're done, or once I'm done with the book, I'm actually going to do a whole book review of it and everything. So yeah, great book. Yes, Damien Eccles is a garbage person. Garbage. So I actually do have a backup account. I don't have a sock account per se, but challenge him to a sword fight. I very well might. So I do have a backup account, and for anyone who is interested on Twitter, the account is actually the Ghost of Jolly West. So I'm just going to throw that out there for those who are interested. The Ghost of Jolly West is my backup account. Usually use it for lurking and these sorts of things. It's let's see, at Lewis Jolly West. So that account is me. Anyways, let's get over to this. Well, this is something we're going to bring up in just a moment. So you don't see it in here because he blocked me. This stupid motherfucker blocked me. I've never heard of the book, but this is not my usual territory. Yeah, like I said, I hadn't heard of it either. But apparently at the time when it came out, 87, 89, it was massive. Like it was huge. And the author was actually sued by little Michael Aquino, that little satanic muppet. He sued the author, Carl Raschke, sued the author. They ended up settling out of court. So I assume that whatever he got sued for, I assume it's because there's something really good in the book. I have not been able to make it to the I haven't been able to make it to the Michael Aquino part in the book yet, but we will get there. Let's see here. Yeah, painted black, although it's really small. Let's see. Boom. Painted black. From drug killings to heavy metal, the alarming true story of how Satanism is terrorizing our communities. Once again, phenomenal book. Get yourself a copy if you can. People have been coming up with some really, really awesome versions of the book. Like people have been getting it from all sorts of interesting libraries. So sounds kind of cool in my opinion. Anyways, so Damien Eccles blocked me. So unfortunately, we can't see it in all of its glory, but I do have the post pulled up. So I said, holy shit, the dude is actually a mall ninja, along with an occultist and convicted child killer. Well, because he is, right? I mean, it's just what he is. Contrary to popular belief, Damien Eccles, Jason Baldwin, and Jesse Miss Kelly were never exonerated, ever. They are still guilty. And they will be for the rest of their lives. In fact, by taking the Alford plea, they are twice convicted. Just like laser tag Ted got shot with a laser twice, Damien Eccles was convicted of child murder twice. So Maybe I'll have to make an AI video of Damien Eccles doing the whole Uncle Ted thing, but instead of the whole laser beam saying, I was convicted twice. It'd be hilarious. It's my now that I've got Rise to Liberty, Unsolved Mysteries done, replacing Uncle Ted for Damien Eccles, and then saying twice convicted. That's my next AI project. So that's gonna be fun. Be hilarious. Anyways, so the dude is literally a mall ninja. So let's look at why real quick, shall we? See, let me just fix this screen. Whoa, not that one. We don't need to see that close up of my head. Okay, that looks a lot better. So the post that I reposted, whatever people are calling it, said sword training is about learning how to inhabit your whole nervous system. When you train with the sword correctly, you work both sides of the body equally. Your dominant hand no longer leads unchecked because your non-dominant side is brought fully online. This forces the brain to communicate across hemispheres, building coordination, balance, and a kind of internal coherence most people never experience. Good Lord, dude, you're playing with a sword. Get the hell out of here. Over time, this rewires how you learn, how you adapt, and how you respond under pressure. You become quicker, not rushed, but more decisive without being tense. Okay. So, I mean, he keeps going on and on. The body becomes intelligent and the mind flows, right? And then this is the stupid fucking video he posted, right? Look out. Look out, everybody. Look out. I'm really panicked now. I am super panicked. Hello, does it rain? Hello, good to see you here. So, he's a straight fucking mall ninja. This is the first thing I thought of when I saw this stupid video of him playing with the sword. Okay, now, what was interesting, I didn't know this at the time, but see this link right here? Apparently, along with the sword, so the reason he went on a sword diatribe, apparently he is actually selling a workshop. I thought this was incredibly interesting. Let's see, let me once again fix this. Here we go. All right. So he's selling a workshop called The Way of the Sword, right? Oh my God. It's just so ridiculous. Right? What a super cool guy. Super cool guy. Total gangster. Everyone watch out. You better be panicked. Oh, it's just so ridiculous. So his seminar, Way of the Sword, Cutting Through Illusion. But look at this. Look, this motherfucker. The tuition. The tuition. Oh my God. How more pretentious could you fucking be? Tuition for Way of the Sword, Cutting Through Illusion. Could you be any more douchey? I'm having a hard time like formulating what I want to say about it because this is a lot to take in, honestly, right? Like I can't be alone in that. Anyways, tuition. If you are a member, I assume a member of this website or something, if you're a member of the website, you get it for $435. Granted, it is multiple days, let's see, the 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th. So at least 4 days. I doubt it's all 4 days. But if you're a non-member, so just the standard fee is $485. So, I mean, let's see, $485. I mean, being a member only saves you $50. Like, you might as well just pay standard, you know? Oh shit, there's a video for this. Oh, we're so watching this. Anyways, develop skills to embody presence, refine discipline, and transform spirit through sword from or form as moving meditation with martial artist Damien Eccles. Get the fuck out of here. He's a martial artist now? What the fuck? Okay. Damien Eccles explains how the sword form as a morning or moving meditation can sharpen awareness, refine discipline, and open the doorway to a deeper way of living. Oh my God, get the fuck out of here with this. Oh my God. Okay, so it's a 3-day experimental retreat. Oh, I bet it is. He's experimenting on how to run away with everyone's fucking money. He merges traditional martial arts with spiritual disciplines such as Zen, Hermetic alchemy. Wow, it's like I'm just... This is the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard. Let's see. Workshop begins Friday at 7 p.m. Huh. And according to this website, Damien Eccles is a best-selling author, martial artist, and spiritual teacher. Oh my God, he's just so fucking pretentious. Okay, we've got to go watch this video real quick. This is just too much. Okay, good. It's only a minute and something. Let's see. Okay.
Hello, my name is Damien Eccles.
Oh my God, it took him 8 fucking seconds to say something? I don't know why that bothers me. Well, I know why it bothers me. First of all, I produce a podcast, my own, and then I also produce Already Dead. And just from a production value, like, you couldn't edit that out, dude? Really?
Hello, my name is Damien Eccles. And first, I want to start by saying that this retreat is open to anyone, regardless of if you know absolutely nothing about martial arts, if you know nothing about meditation. This is open to everyone, from beginners to advanced students. Everyone is welcome, and there will be something for everyone there. And what we're going to be doing at this retreat is we're going to kind of blend stillness and motion, silence and form all together throughout this weekend. We're going to be doing daily Zazen practices. We're going to be doing guided talks. And the thing that I'm the most excited about is we are going to be training in a Tong Soo Do sword form as a kind of moving meditation. The purpose of it is to sharpen your awareness, refine your discipline, and open the doorway to a deeper way of living. I think you'll have fun, and I look forward to seeing you very soon.
Dude, turn off the fucking camera. Good Lord. And seriously, you couldn't edit that part out also? Okay. obviously, I'm not going to have the money nor the time to go to this seminar. However, I will say right now that if at some point in the future he does one of these, and I get enough people to donate the money to me, I'll sign up and go. I will sign up and go to one of these bullshit seminars if I get enough people to donate me the money. So, yeah, in the future, if he does one of these, I will definitely make sure and go. I'll see about streaming what I can. In fact, maybe I'll set up a whole campaign like a GoFundMe or, well, it would be something private because I don't, well, not like private, but it would be like set up on my Substack or something, or maybe like a goal on my Ko-Fi. So yeah, I'll make the promise right now. If he does something like this in the future, I'll set up a campaign, raise the funds, and I'll actually go do the whole thing. So, yeah, that's just hilarious. Oh, he's so pretentious. Anyways, funny thing that let's see here. Let me get back to my post. So funny that you should mention. Let's see. See, Eccles forgot how to use a fork, but he plays with a sword. LOL. Yeah, exactly. He wasn't able to have a fork in prison, and so he had to teach himself how to use a fork again. But yeah, he can play with a sword. See, so Huggy Bear, pretty funny you mentioned this because somebody posted this in the reply. I wonder if they are friends, and a picture of James Lindsay with his sword. The only thing that would make it better, honestly, is that video clip of Ben Shapiro when he knocks himself out with the punching bag. It'd be absolutely hilarious. And in fact, I don't know if you guys have ever seen that clip before. I'll do a quick search for that. Getting a little sidetracked here, but let's see. Ben Shapiro. Let's see. Knockout. Yeah, found it. Okay, awesome. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know if you guys have ever seen this before. This is little Ben Shapiro. He definitely had to eat with a spoon. Makes me puke in my mouth. Thanks for doing this where he is now. Serious stuff. Granted, the global climate, narcissistic abuse. Yeah, 100%. 100%. I will donate. Yeah, like I said, if he does one of these in the future and stuff, I swear, I promise I will set up a fundraising campaign, and will get me signed up so I can go. So funny. Anyways, let's watch this clip of Ben Shapiro knocking himself out real quick because it's just gonna brighten my day.
Think it's better than me, Paul? You think it's because you're hanging here all day, you're higher than me, you're better than me?
Okay.
Think it's better than me, Paul? You think it's because you're hanging here all day, you're higher than me, you're better than me? You lie.
Sorry, I want to make sure it's full screen.
You're not. I'm a fighter. I can think. Yeah, you are not better than me at all. Yeah, I'll teach you.
The last time he ever stepped foot in a gym. Gotta watch that again, and then we'll get moving.
You are not better than me at all. Yeah, I'll teach you. I'm a boxer. I can. Yeah, you are not better than me at all. Yeah, I'll teach you.
Oh, I just love that so much. Oh, that's so funny. Okay. Enough of that sidetrack. That, oh god, that's so funny though. Okay, so yeah, somebody posted this in somebody posted James Lindsay in the comment. Yeah, I was hoping you guys were gonna like that. Absolutely hilarious if nobody's ever seen it. Yes, Michael Wayne Hutchinson, Little Wayne. No problem. No problem. Any chance I get to show Ben Shapiro knocking himself out, gladly. So yeah. Anyways, so I called him an occultist and convicted child killer. Then he blocked me. Dana also called him a convicted child murderer. Let's see. Actually, I kind of want to go through the comments in this. Interesting. So, Brad Conley. Let's see. This is why you need a gun. Second Amendment. Yeah. That's hilarious. Did you do nothing else? Okay. Also, the sword to be appears to be an extension of your body. You very obviously trained so thoroughly. Your body and the sword have become inseparable. One movement that ebbs and flows continuously, if that makes any sense. Is this like a real person? Yeah, it appears to be. Oh, yeah. The owls are not what they seem. Okay. Let's see. Wow, this woman appears to be a legitimate fan of. Yeah, appears to be a legitimate fan of Damien Eccles. Interesting. Fuck Ice, WTF. This. Carl Sagan. Okay, yeah. No, wait. Tupac shot 2 cops and then stared them down in court. What? Okay, we don't need to be blaring CIA music this late. Okay. Okay. Anyways, let's see. Just want to go through a few more of these comments. Let's see. It's like a very small version of playing classical violin or piano. What the fuck? Wow, incredible. Thank you for sharing. Discipline of the mind, body, and soul is true freedom. Okay. Amazing. Brilliant. Very cool stuff. I'm really into Balasong knives, which I think also activates both brain hemispheres. James Wise. Oh, interesting. Oh my God, awesome. What was it like to kill those kids? Did you enjoy it? Do you think about it? Okay. I mean, that's just like straight out, you know? There you go. Rob Reiner is burning in hell. Okay. Right on. Muslims don't have child-free weddings because if they did, who would the who would the groom marry? That's kind of funny. Interesting. So, well, there's a few people, anyways, that posted about the whole kid thing. So that's interesting. Let's see. Visibility limited. This post may violate X rule. Oh, we got to see it. Let's see. Oh, wow. Here we go. Okay. Somebody that follows me. This is hilarious. Is that the murder weapon you used to kill those 3 boys? Question mark. The injustice here is what you did to those kids, and the fact that you were not executed after being rightfully convicted and sentenced to die. I agree. It's hilarious. It's a follower, though. Let's see. This is fascinating. When I was teaching writing and media, I used to recommend using different methods, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Yeah. I don't care. Interesting. So, okay. Let's see. How many followers does he have? Oh, I don't know if I'll be able to see because he has me blocked. Actually, I lied. So I can see. He has 85.6K followers. Okay, so 85,000 followers. And then, see, he has me blocked. See what I mean about this, though? Like, how fucking pretentious and just, I don't know. It just bothers me. This one I'm proud of. Damien Eccles blocking me. Totally. I love that. Most of the time I don't really care about getting blocked. This one I'm very proud of. But look at this. So yeah, he has, this is why I was bringing it up, 85.6K followers. 85,000 followers. We're going to pull up his Patreon. I want to see what's up. Look, this post, 54, 42, 91, 69, 197. Like, it's just kind of interesting. Yeah, I can't. Anyways, after, let's see. After I called him a convicted child murderer, this was the one I wanted to go through, but this is what we're going to talk about on Friday. We're going to go through this whole thing. After he blocked me and Dana, come on. He wrote a whole Substack article about Dana and I assume that other person that tends to be a follower, or turns out to be a follower of mine, that also asked him about, murdering those 3 boys. Let's see. Pull up Dana's profile real quick, and we're going to go find her post about it. She posts a lot more than I do, so it's going to be, let's see here. Oh, yeah, that's a post I'm going to have to save. Let's see. It's like everything she posts is going to have to be brought up on the show at some point or another. Let's see. Nope. Damn it, where is this? So apparently, apparently, what's his name? Tom O'Neill. Jeez. Tom O'Neill released a new version of his book, Chaos. And the new version of his book, oddly enough, has a process symbol right in the middle of Charles Manson's head. Like, what the fuck? Okay? This dude, and I mean Tom O'Neill, he's such a snake in the grass. He is a literal, limited hangout. If I've ever heard of one, he is a limited hangout. Dana was mentioning something about she has been sent emails where Tom O'Neill is calling Dana crazy in the emails because of the work she's done connecting Manson to the process. And it's like, dude, out of everybody on this damn website, Dana is the least crazy one out of all of us. So let's see. I know. Here it is. So this is what she said when she brought up this whole thing. What a hellscape when you hop on and see an occultist child killer promoting their book and training seminar. So that's when I first said, holy shit, this dude is actually a mall ninja along with an occultist child killer. After I had mentioned that, that's when I decided to go just make my own comment, and I decided to go retweet it myself. And then that's when he made the comment about how everything... Oh my God, that's funny. That's not a sword. That's a sword. That's funny. So yeah, Damien ended up getting triggered. Like, whoa, go figure. Go figure. The convicted child murderer gets triggered. Whatever. There is a strange sickness that has become normalized in modern life. People attacking strangers on the internet with a ferocity they would never dare express face to face. That's bullshit. I will call him a convicted child murderer to his face any day of the week. You name the time, Damien. In fact, Damien Eccles is a convicted child murderer, and he's an occultist. And I will say that at any point in time, forever. You hear me, Damien? You are a convicted child murderer, period. Anyways, so I bring all this up. So this is what I'm going to be talking about on Friday. We're going to go through the whole post, we're going to go through the entire Substack, and we'll go talk about him and everything. But before we move on real quick, I didn't realize we were already so far into this show. Already 48 minutes, man. Time flies by when I'm hanging out with you fine folks. It honestly, just time flies by when you're having fun. But I wanted to show you guys, not only is he selling that seminar for, the way of the sword, but he's also selling a karate seminar. And I wanted to show you guys real quick the video that he released about his karate seminar, because everyone needs to sign up for this. He's a martial artist, guys. Yep. So make sure that you definitely sign up for Damien's karate course that he will be selling, because he is definitely a martial artist. And any weird numerology in his course fee? I don't know. That's actually a good question. I didn't really pay attention. I didn't really look. I wonder if he does what are those things called? Cameos? Yeah, I wonder if he does cameos. Because if he does cameos, you better believe I want to get one. Let's see, where is that course? Where is that course? Okay, let's see. I know I have it saved right here. So, so as far as numerology, I didn't notice anything, but the two numbers that he's charging for his seminar, if you are a member of that website, you can get his Way of the Sword seminar for $435, or you can, if you're a non-member, just the standard payment is $485. So it's only a $50 difference. So I don't know if there's any weird numerology. There might be. I'm definitely not the person to ask when it comes to that sort of stuff. So, anyways, definitely wanted to show you guys his his karate course that he's going to be selling as well after his Way of the Sword stuff goes. So, let's see here. I'm just bringing up the next segment real quick so we can get this show on the road. Really, we're already 52 minutes in, and I feel like we haven't even started the show. See, make sure and save all of these for Friday. So yeah, on Friday's show, I am going to be talking about this. It'll be a bit more serious, although I am going to make fun of him. So be prepared for that as well. I'm never not going to make fun of him. It's too easy. And the dude is a douchebag. Oh, he's such a douchebag. And we've talked about on this channel before that one of the things about Satanists is, like, one of the 9 satanic sins is pretentiousness. You cannot, or you're not supposed to be pretentious. That is one of the 9 satanic sins. However, Satanists are without a doubt the most pretentious people I have ever met. Period. Like, they just are. Interesting. Sometimes I really, really like Twitter. I just came across some let's see, I can't say the actual word, but pasta fence stuff. Some pasta fence posts. Let's see. I'm not a big fan of this poster. Let's see. I want to make sure and save these before they disappear. Okay. Also, I did want to let you guys know, now that we're kind of into this series of Satanic Panic and everything, I am in the background starting to put together a show It's going to be a mini series within this series. We're going to tackle Q and why I think it's fake and gay. Q is like the most retarded thing ever. But I want to cover it because this is one of the things that people use in recent memory to actually dismiss all of the satanic panic stuff. They call Q, satanic panic 2.0, or all of these different things. And so I want to make sure that we cover it, and we cover why it is a psyop, why it is actually not real. And so we're going to go through that. So the reason I'm bringing that up, if any of you find some good sources for QAnon, or even the opposite side of QAnon, which is Blue Anon, the Democrat side of that. If you find any good sources or anything that you think would be worthy of me including in on this whole breakdown of Q, go ahead and send it my way. If it is good enough, I'm going to go ahead and throw it in. Just whatever good sources you guys think. Now, be picky and choosy. I'm not going to throw everything in there, but I do want to break it down. I want to show exactly how stupid it is. Because I know at some point in time, some critic is going to find this series, The Satanic Panic is Real, and they're going to compare the two. So I want to be able to have the mini series within, because that's part of breaking down Satanic Panic, right? Is debunking Q, or at least letting feelings be known about this, talking about Operation Trust and all of these other counter-op operations that are most likely tied to Q. Because the whole point of this is to actually get to the truth. And QAnon is not the truth. It's not. Never has been. That's not to say that you can't find truth, because you can. But that's the mark of a disinformation campaign. You can find truth in Q. That's not the point. The point is the point of what I'm trying to say is that the point of Q is a disinformation campaign and meant to discredit people from asking actual questions that definitely need to be asked. Same thing with the cover-up of pasta fence. Same thing. Let's see here. See, there's something I wanted to bring up real quick. Let's see here. Where is it? Aha, here it is. It is an old Geraldo report that I found. Geraldo Special Report, 1994. Bada boom. Let's see here. Oh, come on. Remember, guys, once again, don't forget to sign up for his karate class. I forgot to remove that. It's so funny. Okay, here is the... No, wrong one. No. There we go. The Geraldo Report, 1994. Kind of wish this was a little bit better quality, but you know what? Something from 1994, we can only do with what we have. So that's what we're going to do. What we're doing here is working with what we have.
In 1993, 3 8-year-old boys were brutally murdered in a small town in eastern Arkansas. There is evidence the killings may have been part of a satanic ritual, but much about this awful case remains unclear. Today, we'll try to solve the remaining puzzle with the cooperation of experts and family members from both the young victim's side and the side of the teenaged accused. Pam and Terry are the parents of Stevie Hobbs. Stevie, one of the 8-year-old boys, brutally murdered. Jackie is the victim's grandfather. I know it's difficult, Pam, but can you describe the wounds on Stevie's body?
The left side of his face was cut.
Oh my God, what an awful thing. What an awful, awful thing to ask her to do. Like, holy shit. I just can't. Okay, Geraldo, okay, he is definitely one of the worst offenders when it comes to this whole satanic panic. What would you even call it? I'm not even quite sure. It's like okay, so Geraldo is an opportunist, right? Like, he is a total opportunist, mockingbird media piece of shit. He sees an opportunity to talk about a subject, and he's going to. He didn't care about any of these families. He didn't care about getting to the truth. He's just a mockingbird media journalist. He cared about the sensationalism. He cared about all these other things. He didn't care about the truth. He cared about getting paid. He cared about big ratings. You know? So, I don't know. But what an awful thing to ask her to do. That is just truly awful.
Mutilated. He was tied hand and foot, and he had injuries to his head where his brain had scattered when they hit him.
Essentially, he was beaten to death?
Mm-hmm.
Tell us your reaction, Terry, when you heard what had happened to your stepson.
I don't know. I couldn't believe it. Went into shock. Maybe in shock now. You know, I still can't believe it. It's like a long nightmare that you keep waiting to wake up from. And we're here in the middle of it.
Joining us via satellite from West Memphis, Arkansas, is the father of one of the 3 teenaged accused. Actually, his son has already been convicted of murdering the 3 8-year-olds. This is Jesse Miskelly Sr. He's joined by some supporters you can see in the background. Before I talk to that side and this much more deeply about what happened, you should know that this story of the murders of the 3 young boys has taken many bizarre twists and turns. Indeed, new revelations are emerging every single day. Our team visited West Memphis, Arkansas, to investigate. Here's the story of the 3 dead young men.
Oh, great. That's
Reminiscing over children.
That's just what they need, right? Geraldo and his team poking around, investigating, asking these dumbass questions like him that just have zero regard for exactly what happened. You know, they were just down there just being the most insensitive pricks.
Children's photos brings joy to most families, but in the house of Marie Hicks and her daughter Pam Hobbs, it is a painful and torturous event. Pam's 8-year-old son Stephen was sexually molested and brutally murdered, along with 2 other 8-year-old boys, Michael Moore and Christopher Byers. It happened in West Memphis, Arkansas on May 5th, 1993. Christopher had also been castrated. Charged in the brutal murders were 3 local teenagers: Jesse Miskelly Jr., 18, Damian Eccles, 18, and Jason Baldwin, just 16. The parents of one of the murdered boys yelled at Damian on his way to a court appearance.
Hey, faggot! What you know about a faggot?
Adding to the parents' horrors were reports that the killers had participated in devil worship. On February 4th, Jesse Miskelly Jr. was found guilty of the murders. He was sentenced to life in prison, plus 40 years. The trials of Damian Eccles and Jason Baldwin are scheduled for late February. In June of last year, 1993, the Memphis Commercial Appeal reported that cult experts had warned West Memphis officials back in 1992.
So this is true as far as the cult experts warning West Memphis. They had warned the city that their area was ripe for occult and cult activity. It's just, it's crazy. So West Memphis is right. The way it's laid out is, first of all, it's a triangle. I mean, you don't have to be an expert in this occult stuff to know the symbolism of the pyramid or the triangle. So the very fact that the city itself is sat in a triangle, but what makes the triangle is actually the intersection of 3 separate interstate interchanges. I mean, you couldn't ask for a more perfect scenario somewhere where there's, easy access to come and go quickly and to be within another state within a couple hours, easy, In fact, the FBI, and take this with a grain of salt because of it being the FBI, and, none of us like them, but the FBI theorizes that most serial killing has now switched over to being interstate truckers, which I tend to believe is true. I mean, why wouldn't it be? You're picking up people who probably have nobody looking for them, at least in that moment right then. You're constantly on the move. You're on the interstate, which is the easiest way to transport people, goods, services. I mean, this is where all of the human trafficking routes are. So why wouldn't they be? You're usually having long periods of working by yourself. You don't have people checking in on you regularly most of the time. And then there's, of course, the independent contractors that own their own tractor and trailer. Now it's even worse. So West Memphis sits right in that perfect triangle, the intersection of 3 different interstates. It's perfect. It is perfect. And we're talking about Arkansas, which is a massive state for cults and the occult practices. I mean, it is a perfect area for this thing to happen.
That satanic cult activities were present in the community. One of the 3 defendants told West Memphis police that local cult activities included eating dogs and participating in sex orgies. Acquaintances of Damien Eccles told reporters that Eccles customarily wore black, killed cats, and worshipped the devil. Stephanie Dollar, a West Memphis resident, said there has long been talk about cult activities in West Memphis.
I mean, all the talk about it. I mean, the symbols that you see wrote everywhere. I mean, which it could be just kids writing things. I don't know. I mean, but there's just too much talk about it for it not to be true.
Jesse Miskelly Jr., like his 2 co-defendants, lived in a rundown trailer park in the West Memphis area. The teenager's room revealed nothing extraordinary. Most of the pictures and posters were fairly typical for an 18-year-old boy's room. Although a jury found his son guilty, Jesse Miskelly Sr. steadfastly professes his son's innocence.
I've got 15, 20 people that saw him out here in this trailer park that day, up until 7:30. Then he went to Dallas, Arkansas to wrestle. There's no way he could have been up there to kill those boys. He was out here in this trailer park because they have witnesses to prove that he was here. But the police, they say he was not here. And they got up there and lied. Jesse was not in that. Because he said eat the hind leg of a dog. Jesse won't even eat fried chicken. What are you talking about?
Jesse Sr.'s story is supported by 15-year-old Susie Brewer, Jesse Jr.'s girlfriend.
I think they're stupid. I don't think he did it. I just tell him I still love him and we're all behind him. Damien's weird looking and Jason, he's just quiet.
Police believe the murders occurred in a small grove known by the locals as Robin Hood.
I don't know what to take her statements as. It is interesting. Let's see. I remember this starting with censorship. Yeah. Most definitely. And meth. Yeah, meth is a massive contributor to this area in general. No, Satanic Panic, that term actually ended up coming later. And Satanic Panic was actually more of a media term. Even to this day. I mean, technically I'm media, so or the press, whatever. So yeah, the term Satanic Panic actually did not come until much later. There was, I mean, it was used even back into the 90s, but it was very sparse. It was not known. Like this whole phenomenon was not known as the Satanic Panic like it is now. Now, one term that was used widely in many instances was witch hunt. This is the witch hunt. It's a satanic witch hunt. That is a term that was used widely at that time. But yeah, you are right. Back at that point, in the middle of it, it was not at the time known as Satanic Panic. I remember watching this stuff as a kid in suburbia, and knowing that teenagers were playing Satanism in the caves and other stuff. Interesting. Let's see. Right. So that is one of the aspects of this case. So Scott says, putting the testicles in the mouth they thought would give them power. They read it in an old book on witchcraft. Nobody talks about that. Well, we talk about it on this channel. And you're right. That is one of the aspects, or at least it's in my opinion, I believe it is very it's very safe to assume that that's what happened, knowing some of the statements that Damien had made, and knowing what information we now know is confirmed about the mutilation of two of the boys. It's I think it's safe to bet that that's exactly what happened. Also, that was talked about later on by Jesse Miskelly.
Woods. It's a popular spot for teenage beer drinking and parties. Based on police and news reports, we have recreated the boys' final moments. Late afternoon on May 5th, 1990.
No coincidence that Clinton was governor of Arkansas. Yeah, absolutely no coincidence. The Boys on the Tracks case, also no coincidence. Nothing to see there. Don't ask questions about that case. Don't ask. Absolutely do not ask about Mena, Arkansas, and the drug trafficking that was going on in that part of the woods at this exact same time. Don't you dare ask about that, because that has nothing to do with any of this, okay? Do not ask about Mena, Arkansas. Fact, come on. Where is this? Let's see. I do have a short clip related to that subject that definitely does not exist. The subject of the Clintons trafficking in Arkansas at the time, it definitely does not exist, and I do not have a clip regarding that we will definitely not get to if we have the time. See, just making sure I am definitely not saving that clip to definitely not look at if there's the time.
The boys entered the woods. One was riding a girl's bike, the other a boy's bike. The third child had a skateboard. It is believed the boys spent some time roaming and playing in the woods. At some point, however, after 6 p.m., the three children and their assailants met.
So like I said, there were some people that called it back then Satanic Panic. It was largely the media using that term. In fact, I'm going to make a note of that. This would be an interesting subject to figure out. When exactly, where did the nomenclature come from? Where did the term Satanic Panic start? So with MK Ultra and brainwashing, mind control, I was actually able to track down the very first use of the term brainwashing. I was able to track down the very first of the use of the word brainwashing in a newspaper and find the original newspaper. Wouldn't you know it? The very first person to ever use the term brainwashing in the American lexicon, in a newspaper, was not only a journalist, but that journalist worked for the CIA. Wouldn't you know it? Wouldn't you know it? And that was back in the 50s. It was the Miami Herald, was the paper that had the very first use of the word brainwashing. Let's see here. So yeah, we will look into the actual term. Let's see, look into actual term. And yeah, we will find the etymology of Satanic Panic. That would be a very interesting show. So yeah, the Satanic Panic has been around for a while. It has never really stopped. It is now, I would say, culturally known as the Satanic Panic, but back then, people were definitely calling it all sorts of things. The media back in the early 80s, particularly after Michelle Remembers, the book, came out. Particularly after that is when the term Satanic Panic started popping up in newspapers. But I guess we will have another show regarding that, because yeah, that's a hell of an interesting topic.
The following day, May 6th, the police spotted a young boy's sneaker and a Cub Scout hat floating in a small creek. The bodies of the three boys were found just yards away.
Pam, can you tell us what happened that afternoon? What happened to your son? What was he usually doing at that time?
After school, Michael had come over and asked, could Stevie go to his house and play?
Michael Moore, one of the three victims, yeah.
to Michael Moore's house, the other little boy. And at first I told him no, and he kept begging, so I went ahead and told him that he could go, and I gave him a time to be home. I told him to be home by 4:30, that if he wasn't home, he would be grounded. And I had to go to work that night, and I left for work around 4:55, and he still wasn't at home. So I went on to work, and my husband started searching for him. And we searched all night, and it come up the next day that he was dead.
Who told you that they found his body?
My husband and I went to the school to check to tell them that we hadn't found the boys, and a lady said, "I heard they just found 3 boys." So we went to the part where they had found them at, and I run up. They already had the police line out and everything, and I run up, and someone said that it was Stevie, that it was the boys.
Grandpa Jackie, do you believe this was a devil worship cult? Do you believe this was a satanic organization, or these boys were in some way connected? And how do you respond to that?
Yes, I do.
So you're definitely not the only person that has told me this. There's a lot of people that I have talked to. In fact, even people that, I mean, in the later 80s, later on in the decade, there were these programs where you could de-meddle your teenager, right? Like you would send your teenager to this program where they would, it was like a 2-week program where they would get your teenager to stop listening to heavy metal and start wanting to go to church again. And, you know, all of this, like, you know, I'm not even like conversion therapy, you know, converting your kid away from being a metalhead. And I've talked to people that were actually even in some of those programs before, and even they have told me that they don't remember the term satanic panic being used. But I've also talked to other people that remember the term being used a lot. So I think the one thing that we have to remember about this is that back then, back in the 80s and 90s, this country was still incredibly decentralized. And granted, there was national news, but at the same time, everything took place on a local level. So at that point, what's normal for one is not going to be normal for somebody else. Also, it does suck you can't catch them on time. However, I am glad that you're here, and I'm glad that you can catch them at all. So just keep showing up. I appreciate that more than you ever know. So it's not about showing up on time. It's about just showing up in general, or watching the replays if you can't make it. Because you know what? That's okay. If you can't always make it, I understand. But that's why I do these shows, to make sure that you guys can watch them. So whether you watch them live or watch them on the replay, it's not really that important to me either way. Just the very fact that you guys have this to watch is what's important to me. So thanks for showing up.
They believe that it was. At the time of the murder, Satanic was a world of its own. It was something that wasn't even in my mind. But as time progresses and goes on, and we've learned a little more, studied a little more, and went along with it, at all points from what we've read and studied, yes, it was a Satanic type murder.
What's your reaction? I know you folks are nervous about being on TV. What's your reaction to what happened to your grandson?
Well, him and a couple little boys were just beautiful little boys playing. Those little boys still...
Excuse me. That's exactly what I believe that satanic panic was a total misdirection. In fact, do you guys happen to know what the ash experiment is? let's see. Let me get this. I should have had this pulled up because this is another thing that we're going to do an entire episode on. Let's see here. Excuse me. So this is let's see. Oh man, some actual footage from the experiment itself. Neat. Okay. Excuse me. So the Ash conformity experiments. Let's see. Sorry, just getting this other clip pulled up. The Ash conformity experiments basically was an experiment to prove groupthink, right? Oh, perfect. There's Chris Hughes clip all about yes. Awesome. Chris Hughes is great, by the way, in case you guys don't know him. We're just going to show him real quick. So the Ash experiment. Incredibly interesting.
The lines experiment with Dr. Solomon Ash. You're a volunteer experiment. There's like 15 people in the room. Everybody else but you is in on the experiment. They show you these lines, 3 lines on one page, and they show one page that has 1 line on it. So which line on this page is equal to this line over here? Obviously, on the target line, you're going to pick C. Right. I mean, that's glaringly obvious. Dr. Ash is doing this conformity experiment. These other people in the room all go before you. And everybody in the room, one at a time, says A, 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 A. And it gets around to the person. And this was almost 100%. 100% of the people in the experiment would say A. The truth is right in front of their face. And they would go with the group because the group did it. The group is telling them what to choose. If you think of the way that social media manipulates our brain, it falsifies tribal agreement and it makes us say A. Right. So we're willing to ignore everything that we see because we're seeing a tribe say that something else is happening. Okay. So it'll override our brain. Our brains are not capable of overcoming this technology. We don't have a firewall. And technology has outpaced our brain's ability to adapt to it. If I can get you to think that most of your tribal members agree to X, then most people, like 90% of people, will say, okay, X is true.
Okay, so that was a great kind of explanation for what he's talking about. So basically, well, in fact, I don't want to botch this, so let me just pull this up. Might as well just read the first paragraph of Wikipedia. Okay. Here we go. So, in psychology, the Ash conformity experiments were, or the Ash paradigm was, a series of studies directed by Solomon Ash studying if and how individuals yielded to or defied a majority group and the effect of such influences on beliefs and opinions. Yeah, we should do a whole show on this as well. This is incredibly important to understand, especially when it comes to propaganda and all of these sorts of things. So, the Ash paradigm was a series of conformity experiments by Solomon Ash designed to investigate how social pressure from a majority group could influence an individual to conform. In the experiments, groups of participants were asked to match the length of lines on cards, a task with an obvious answer. However, each group only included one real participant, with the rest being Confederates instructed to give the incorrect answer. Solomon Asch experimented with investigating the extent to which social pressure from a majority group could affect a person to conform. He believed the main problem with Sheriff's 1935 conformity experiment was that there was no correct answer to the ambiguous autokinetic experiment. How could we be sure that a person conformed when there was no correct answer? Asch, 1951, devised what is now regarded as a classic experiment in social psychology, whereby there was an obvious answer to a line judgment task. If the participant gave an incorrect answer, it would be clear that this was due to group pressure. So, incredibly interesting. Let's see, the conclusion. Yeah, let's jump to conclusion. So the Asch concluded that group pressure can significantly distort individual judgment, even in clear-cut situations, due to normative social influence. And that's what we got to pull up right there. This is a great website in case you guys are curious. It's just called simplepsychology.com. Beautiful website. I've used it a bunch, especially when you're trying to understand things like this. It is great. So, let's see, hold on just one sec. I'm just cleaning everything up. Sometimes I get a little carried away with all these tabs, and we don't always need them. Sorry. Anyway, so that's what the Asch conformity experiments are. Of course, we can go like way more in depth into what this means, how these tests are ran, exactly how it affects people. The different size groups matter. It definitely matters like what you are expecting people to conform to. I mean, there's all sorts of different factors that play into this, but largely this is what it is. So, yeah, it really is terrible. And you were more than welcome. This stuff is incredibly important to me. I do try to make it as fun as possible because these are really not fun subjects, right? This is not fun stuff to talk about, but I do try to have fun as much as possible. And also, I do have some announcements for the show, different ideas I have about, ways to make this as fun as possible. So we'll get to that though. But once again, you're welcome. I think McMartin right after is when Satanic Panic was used. That's how I remember first hearing about it. Yeah, so McMartin was like the nationalization. It was the McMartin case was the case that was used to turn the phrase Satanic Panic into a household name, if that makes sense. But I mean, if you look for them, I mean, I have tons of newspapers from all over the country regarding the term satanic panic. And I mean, you can find it used all over the place. So, but yeah, you are right on that. McMartin is after McMartin. So, I mean, we're talking the very late 80s, early 90s is right where the term satanic panic became a household phrase. Let's see. Making myself a note real quick. Oh yeah, we're definitely going to go over the Asch conformity experiments later. Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, kids definitely used it in the early 80s. It just, once again, was not like a household term. It is true to a certain extent. To a certain extent, the lexicon is kind of, well, I don't think it's necessarily created by academics and journalists, but I do think it's upheld. And I mean, that is the dissemination of propaganda. So misinformation and disinformation is through academia and journalism. So in a certain aspect, you are right, Huggy Bear, where they do create lexicon. However, I do believe that academics and journalism is actually downstream from culture. That's a discussion for another day. Oh yeah, we're definitely going to do a show on the term satanic panic. I think that it's definitely time for that. Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. Okay, let's actually look at this clip real quick regarding the Asch experiment. Oh, come on. There it is.
The Asch experiment is one of psychology's oldest and most popular pieces of research. A volunteer is told that he's taking part in a visual perception test. What he doesn't know is that the other participants are actors, and he's the only person taking part in the real test, which is actually about group conformity.
Please begin. The experiment you will be taking part in today involves the perception of line length. Your task will be simply to look at the line here on the left and indicate which of the 3 lines on the right is equal to it in length. So, for example, if
the actors have been told to match the wrong lines. The volunteer will be monitored to see if he gives the correct answer or if he goes along with the opinion of the group and gives the wrong answer. In the first test, the correct answer is 2.
1. 1. 1.
That's 2.
1. Once again, the correct answer is 2.
3. 3. 3.
3.
3.
The Asch experiment has been repeated many times, and the results have been supported again and again. we will conform to the group. Again, we're very social creatures. We're very much aware of what the people around us think. We want to be liked. We don't want to be seen to rock the boat, so we will go along with the group. Even if we don't believe what people are saying, we'll still go along.
One.
Group dynamics is one of the most powerful forces in human psychology.
One.
Okay, so that's incredibly interesting. That is the Ash experiment. Let's see. There's one more clip real quick, and then we'll get back on track. And we're not going to go through this whole one because this is like 4 minutes, but
an experiment is not a public opinion poll. It examines behavior under the pressure of social forces, as the experiment of Solomon Ash reveals.
The experiment you'll be taking part in today involves the perception of lengths of lines. As you can see here, I have a number of cards, and on each card there are several lines. Your task is a very simple one. You're to look at the...
Chase Hughes was most definitely CIA. In fact, he's open about it. In fact, on top of that, Chase Hughes was in fact a PSYOP expert. Let's see. God, I really want to get him on my show. Like that would be fucking awesome, honestly. Chase Hughes, he is or was a psychological operations expert. Let's see where. Anyway, let's see. Doesn't look like I can find it super quick or anything. Damn. Okay, well, we'll talk more about him later on. But yes, Chase Hughes. I believe he's retired. He's not ex. If somebody says that they're ex CIA, all that means is that they are still in my opinion. When somebody says that they're retired, that's a little bit different. Anyways, yeah, he was CIA, and he now has a company that's called NCI. I don't know what it is off the top of my head. It's NCI University, Master Influence. He basically took what he learned in CIA and turned it into a business, which, you know what? Good for him. Good for him. He does have this manual though, and I want to get it. It's like $400 though, but it's like that thick, super thick, and it's like everything he ever learned on his job turned into a book, basically.
Line on the left and determine which of the 3 lines on the right is equal to it in length. All right, we'll proceed in this order. You'll give your answer.
Only one of the people in the group is a real subject, the 5th person with the white t-shirt. The others are confederates of the experimenter and have been told to give wrong answers on some of the trials. The experiment begins uneventfully as subjects give their judgments.
2.
2.
2. 2. 2. 3. 3. 3. 3.
But on the 3rd trial, something happens.
2. 2. 2. 2. 2.
The subject denies the evidence of his own eyes and yields to group influence.
1.
Ash found subjects went along with the group on 37% of the critical trials. But he found through interviews that they went along with the group for different reasons.
One. They must be right. There are 4 of them and 1 of me.
One. This subject's yielding is based on a distortion of his judgment. He genuinely believes that the group is correct.
1.
1.
2. 1. 2.
2.
I know they're wrong, but why should I make waves?
2.
In this case, the subject knows he is right, but goes along to avoid the discomfort of disagreeing with the group. Here, the distortion is at the level of his response.
2.
2. 2.
In the previous experiment, the naive subject stood alone against the group. In this variation, Ash gave the naive subject a partner, here seated in the 3rd position, who also gives the correct response.
1.
2.
1. 2.
With a partner, yielding drops to only 5% of the critical trials compared to 37% without a partner. Although subjects report warmth and good feeling toward the partner, they typically deny that he played a role in their own independence. The partnership variation shows that much of the power of the group came not merely from its numbers, but from the unanimity of its opposition. When that unanimity is punctured, the group's power is greatly reduced. Sometimes we go along with the group because what they say convinces us they are right. This is called informational conformity. But sometimes we conform because we are apprehensive that the group will disapprove if we are deviant. This is called normative conformity. The strength of the normative factor is shown in another variation carried out by Ash. In this variation, the subject is told that because he had arrived late, he would have to write his answers. Subjects in this private response experiment are exposed to the same amount of misleading information as other subjects, but they are immune from any possible criticism by the group.
1.
And this enormously reduces the pressure to conform. Conformity drops by 2/3. Ash's experiment is a classic. It reveals how people will deny what they see and submit to group pressure. It allows us not only to observe conformity, but to study the conditions that increase or reduce its occurrence.
Okay. So that's the Ash experiment. Let's see here. Now, let's get back to the West Memphis 3.
I believe in Santa Claus and the Easter bunnies. They were playing in the woods called Robin Hood Park, where all the neighborhood kids play at. And evidently they've run up on something. And those boys were cruelly beaten to death. They were beaten to death. I saw my grandson at the funeral home before he was taken out of a body bag, just like he came back from the corner. And it was pitiful.
Tell
Yeah. I just had to put some eye drops in. After staring at computer screens and my phone screen all day, my eyes get a little dry. So I've got these special eye drops. They're called Digi-Eye, DIGIEYE. And they're meant for digital eye strain. Even though on my glasses I actually have a blue block lens. After staring at the computer screen all day, it's just, my eyes are tired. My eyes are worn out and tired. So yes, to answer your question, I'm definitely okay. Haven't brought me to tears. Not to say that it won't happen at some point. That it might legitimately happen with this topic at some point. But if I get brought to tears, I'm not going to be one of those people that hide it. So you'll know if I'm legitimately brought to tears. You'll know.
Help us understand that. What did they do to him?
What did they do to him? His jaw was completely tore loose from his face. His eye was busted in the socket. His chest and all was kicked and stomped. His face was kicked and stomped. Just pitiful, pitiful. It's something that a decent human being wouldn't even do to a live dog, let alone a human being.
Did a feeling of rage swell up in you?
Well, naturally, the feeling of rage swollen up.
Okay. Let's see, this is going to get pulled up and it's going to be put into a watch later. Keep seeing in my recommended videos, Bam Margera says he won't film new stunts for new Jackass movie. Okay. I mean, the Jackass movie kind of thing has been overplayed. So, whatever. Let's see. Okay, let's get part 2 of this. Part 2.
Yes, it's swollen out. Yeah, it did.
Did you want to go out and find his murderers yourself?
Naturally, you know that too. Yes, I did want to go out and find these murderers myself at the time.
Do you believe that the right teenager was convicted?
Yes, I do.
Jesse Miskelly Sr., can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
You still, despite the fact that a jury has convicted your son and sentenced him to life plus 40 years, you believe him to be innocent?
Yes, sir, I sure do.
Isn't it a fact that Jesse Miskelly Jr. was a member of one of these satanic cults?
No, he was not.
He didn't attend meetings?
No, he did not.
There was testimony to that effect at the trial?
That's a lie.
For those who are curious, these are the eye drops I use. So they are Rotho Digi-Eye Digital Eye Strain eye drops. Get cooling eye strain relief from the symptoms of digital eye strain. Rotho Digi-Eye Digital Eye Strain eye drops are the answer to ever-increasing screen time on digital devices, specifically formulated to deliver instant cooling and long-lasting soothing relief. Its proprietary formula works to relieve redness and dryness due to digital eye strain and soothes for up to 8 hours. Pink color comes from vitamin B12. So, for anyone who's curious, you can find these on Amazon for I think $15, or you can get them at Walmart. I don't shop at Walmart, but that's where you can get them. So just get them off Amazon, or if you can find them somewhere else, get them off there. But for those who are curious, that's what my eye drops are.
Do you think everyone is lying about your son?
Yes, I do.
And you believe that he had an alibi?
I know he did.
Then why did he make a 32-minute confession to the cops?
Because they hounded him, they cussed him, they threatened him, and he just made a statement to get him off his back.
That's not even close to true. That's not even close to true at all. In fact, I've been meaning to do this for a minute. Tomorrow, I am going to go back on the No Way Jose show to go do another West Memphis 3 episode. However, I have already done a couple of West Memphis 3 episodes. I'm going to go put them, let's see. West Memphis 3, boom. So I have so far done, see, there's 2 of them. I guess 2. I guess I've only done 2 so far. But over on the No Way Jose podcast, we went through every single one of Jesse Miskelly's confessions, or all 8 of them anyways. So let's see here. It's this video. So anyone that's interested, it's this video right here. This is the one. It's No Way Jose 723, which is part 2 of Who the Fuck Are the West Memphis 3 with Jacob of Rise to Liberty. But I have gone ahead and put both of those episodes in my West Memphis 3 playlist. So go check that out if you want to go through all of Jesse Miskelly's confessions. We spend an hour and a half going through the whole thing, all 8 confessions. We go through the most important to the least important, and what's consistent all the way through. You know, it's just crazy. Let's see.
Terry, you want to say something to Mr. Miskelly Sr.?
I have a lot to say to that man, but I don't want to talk to him. I don't appreciate the actions of your son. He come out of your home, out of your raisins.
Yeah, so I mean, I've done LSD before. I've done it in the past. These days, no. There's no way you will not catch me using LSD anymore. Yeah, well, in fact, I'll probably get into that on a later episode. But yeah, no, no LSD drops for me. That's some Jimi Hendrix type shit. Yeah, no kidding. No kidding.
And no, I don't.
Well, my son did not do it.
He said he did.
But he's mistaken.
He had a chance to tell the whole world he didn't do it. And he didn't.
Tried.
He didn't.
We tried.
He didn't.
No, he didn't.
Had a chance.
We tried, but they wouldn't let him.
No,
Paul Morrison is a
that's
television
bullshit.
reporter who got so close to this case that he became almost obsessed with it. So much so that he was forced to quit his job in a Memphis television station. Paul, what about
Mushrooms? Mushrooms I would still do. Once again, that's a conversation for another show. I would have to grow them or know where they come from. Mushrooms, I actually believe, come from God, although they can still cause damage to you, just like any psychedelic. But those are actually grown. You know, I do believe that those come from God, and if handled correctly and responsibly, I do believe that they could be of great benefit. But they are not a recreational thing.
the satanic angle here? Were these boys ritually slaughtered?
So far, we've heard nothing from the police, certainly. They did not establish motive in the killings. As you know, you don't need to establish motive for a conviction. But publicly, there's...
Oh my God. So TV reporter fired for obsession with satanic case. I've got to look this dude up. Okay, so let's see. Paul Morrison. Is Paul Morrison, TV reporter. Let's hope that there's some sort of let's see, it just says TV reporter. Let's do satanic panic. That's interesting, getting fired for that. Let's see. Interesting. Well, I can't find anything directly on him, but I'm going to keep looking.
Of these killings
was
occult related.
What else could it have been?
I think when you look at a case like this, some of the questions that might go through your mind would be child sexual abuse, or if the motivator was indeed sexual as opposed to cult related. I cannot say for sure it was or it wasn't. I do know this much. You've already indicated, I'm convinced there was a cult of some form or fashion alive and well in West Memphis, Arkansas.
Isn't it a fact that aside from the brutal beating that they administered to these 3 8-year-olds, that they also castrated one of the boys?
Christopher Byers' sexual organs were rather artfully removed. To my knowledge, they've never been found.
Picture this happening in your town. 3 8-year-old boys, wonderful, innocent, Santa Claus believing 8-year-old boys, brutally beaten to death, hacked and mutilated. Later, 3 teenagers arrested, one of them already convicted, the trials of 2 others to take place. What impact would it have in your community, particularly if you learned that there was possibly a satanic cult that these teenagers belong to? When kids kill kids, did the devil make them do it? The focus of this edition of Geraldo.
He's such a piece of shit.
Devil make them do it.
He's such a piece of
Back
shit.
to West Memphis, Arkansas, back to Jesse Miskelly Sr., surrounded, as you can see, by other supporters and family members of the youngster, 17 years old at the time of the crime, now 18 years old, and sentenced to life plus 40 years. Mr. Miskelly Sr., we have one of the victim's grandfathers here. He's a man, I think, who knows you. Jackie, do you want to say something to Jesse?
Yes, Mr. Miskelly, I didn't get a chance to say anything to you after the trial, but what I see, and I'm talking personally to you, I see a repeat of a beer drinking. All I see is what I'm trying to say. It's his raising. I feel sorry for him than I do for you. You've never done nothing for him, and that's all he ever knew is what he was doing. And brother, that's your fault as much as it's his.
Mr. Miskelly, do you want to respond?
No, they can run me down all they want to. But I don't care what they say. Just leave me the hell alone.
But Mr. Miskelly, isn't it possible, now that your son is convicted, can't you look at this thing a little more objectively? Convicted after a confession, isn't it possible that he went astray someplace?
No.
Something went wrong with your son?
No. He was coerced in making that station. He was kind of scared. He had the mind of a 7 or 8 year old, and he was scared. And he told them anything he could think of to get him off his back.
And the
That's
woman,
such bullshit.
I believe, Paul, her name was Hutchison.
Victoria Hutchison.
Who testified, Jesse, that your son was at one of these cult meetings, at least one?
She lied.
Why would she lie?
That I don't know.
Paul, how convincing was her testimony?
It was rather brief, but she indicated that she had attended what appeared from the testimony to have been a meeting, a satanic ritual called an SBAT, which in those terms is more or less a monthly or regular business meeting.
Jesse, is your son going to testify against the other two boys, against, what's his name, Damien and Jason?
That I don't know.
Let me introduce our experts because I want to broaden this beyond West Memphis to talk more about this whole very controversial issue of satanic cults and devil worship. Whenever this is mentioned in polite society, people like to bury their head under the pillow and refuse to believe that it exists. And very often reporters like Paul Morrison get an awful lot of heat for staying with these stories. I know when we did our devil worship special how very controversial that was, but we still stand by that one as well as what you're hearing today. Okay, Dr. Herbert Nyberg, a man who specializes in adolescent Satanism, among many other things. He has been counseling victims and ex-cult members for years. Jack Roper is one of the nation's leading authors and experts on satanic cults. Our old friend Jack Levin, renowned, certainly well-known professor of criminology at Boston's Northeastern University, a man who says Satanism is used as a cop-out and an excuse by troubled, violent teenagers. And finally, a man who knows it from the streets, Marcos Quinones.
Yes.
He's an officer with the good old NYPD, New York City Police Department. He says that more satanic murderers occur than we know about. These four experts, joined by our bereaved relatives on both sides, they are saddened. We'll continue this discussion of when kids kill kids. Did the devil make them do it? Right after this brief intermission.
Hey, JC.
When kids kill kids, did the devil make them do it? A specific focus, this horrible triple homicide.
Once again, just the way he asks questions is the way in which you can tell that he doesn't give a shit about the truth, that he's just like asking questions in such a way in order to get like a rise out of people, to get higher ratings and stuff. Like, he doesn't actually give a shit about this. He's covering it because it's big, it's in the news, it's going to get him ratings. Kids killing kids, and did Satan make him do it? It's just like the way in which he's presenting it. Like, he has no respect for any of this or any of the people involved. This is a circus for him.
Just west of Memphis on the Arkansas side of the river, yes.
With the occult, I know that there's a history of hallucinogenic use. And was there any such, tie with that in this murder?
During Jesse's trial, he indicated, or the testimony indicated, that he had had some experience with drugs. I do not know the extent of it. It didn't, and the other two we do not know yet because basically the case file is sealed.
Jesse Sr., was your son a drug user?
No, not especially. He smoked a little marijuana every once in a while.
Uh-huh. Was he a big boozer?
So everyone does want us mind controlled 100%. I mean, that's exactly what these things are. What are, as I like to call them, are existential crisis rectangles. That's what these things are. This is where MK Ultra comes from these days, is our cell phones. Of course, it still comes from TV, our computers, and everything else. but they most certainly want us mind controlled. That's why fear is the number one form of mind control, and it's repetition. This is why the news is the way that it is. This is why politics is the way that it is. It's always fear, 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 constantly fear. And it just keeps repeating and repeating and repeating, because the most basic form of mind control is repetition.
No, not a big boozer. He did drink whiskey, though.
Do you have any more children?
Yeah.
Pam? How old is she?
She just turned 5.
Does she have any understanding of what happened to her brother?
No, she doesn't understand it. She misses her brother, but she doesn't understand. She knows he's gone, and she says she knows he's in heaven, but to really understand it, no, she don't.
Oh, it's fucking heartbreaking. That might make me cry. That's awful. That is truly awful.
Hi. I would like to know what type of person it is that gets involved with cults.
I don't know. Dr. Nyberg,
damn it. All right. Where? Okay. There's part 2. So we need part 3. Oh, don't tell me there's not a part 3. This one? Uh-oh. Uh-oh, there might not be a part 3. Let's see, part 1, part 2. Let me see real quick if I can find this elsewhere. So I was actually watching this on William Ramsey's. Let's see here. Watching this on William Ramsey's channel. One of them has a bunch of West Memphis 3 stuff. Let's see. Oh shit. I think we have the full thing. Oh. Okay, hold on. Hold on a second. I think we're cooking with gas. Oh boy, and it's actually in better resolution. What do you know about that? What do you know about that? I should have done this in the first place.
Brutally
For
murdered
now.
in a small town in eastern Arkansas. When kids kill kids, did the devil make them do it? The focus of this edition of Geraldo.
Yes, Mr. Smithelli, I didn't get a chance to say anything to you after the trial, but what I see, and I'm talking personally to you, I see a repeat of a beer drinking. All I see is what I'm trying to say. It's his raising. I feel sorry for him than I do for you. You've never done nothing for him, and that's all he ever knew is what he was doing. And brother, that's your fault as much as it's his.
That's fucking brutal. That is fucking brutal.
Mr. Skelly, do you want to respond?
Damn.
No, they can run me down all they want to. But I don't care what they say. Just leave me the hell alone.
But Mr. Miskelly, isn't it possible, now that your son is convicted, can't you look at this thing a little more objectively? Convicted after a confession? Isn't it possible that he went astray someplace?
No.
Something went wrong with your son?
No. He was coerced in making that station. He was kind of scared. He had the mind of a 7 or 8 year old. and he was scared, and he told them anything he could think of to get him off his back.
And the woman, I believe, Paul, her name was Hutchison.
Victoria Hutchison.
Who testified, Jesse, that your son was at one of these cult meetings, at least one?
She lied.
Why would she lie?
That I don't know.
Paul, how convincing was her testimony?
Well, it was rather brief, but she indicated that she had attended what appeared from the testimony to have been a meeting, a satanic ritual called an SBAT, which in those terms is more or less a monthly or regular business meeting.
Jesse, is your son going to testify against the other two boys, against, what's his name, Damien and Jason?
That I don't know.
Let me introduce our experts because I want to broaden this beyond West Memphis to talk more about this whole very controversial issue of satanic cults and devil worship. Whenever this is mentioned in polite society, people like to bury their head under the pillow and refuse to believe that it exists. And very often reporters like Paul Morrison get an awful lot of heat for staying with these stories. I know when we did our devil worship special how very controversial that was, but we still stand by that one as well as what you're hearing today. Okay, Dr. Herbert Nyberg, a man who specializes in adolescent Satanism, among many other things. He has been counseling victims and ex-cult members for years. Jack Roper is one of the nation's leading authors and experts on satanic cults. Our old friend Jack Levin, renowned, certainly well-known professor of criminology at Boston's Northeastern University, a man who says Satanism is used as a cop-out and an excuse by troubled, violent teenagers. And finally, a man who knows it from the streets, Marcos Quinones. He's an officer with the good old NYPD, New York City Police Department. He says that more satanic murderers occur than we know about. These four experts, joined by our bereaved relatives on both sides. They are saddened. We'll continue this discussion of when kids kill kids. Did the devil make them do it? Right after this brief intermission. When kids kill kids, did the devil make them do it? Our specific focus, this horrible triple homicide just west of Memphis on the Arkansas side of the river. Yes.
With the occult, I know that there's a history of hallucinogenic use. And was there any such, I guess, tie with that in this murder?
During Jesse's trial, he indicated, or the testimony indicated, that he had had some experience with drugs. I do not know the extent of it. It didn't, and the other two we do not know yet because basically the case file is sealed.
Jesse Sr., was your son a drug user?
No, not especially. He smoked a little marijuana every once in a while.
Uh-huh. Was he a big boozer?
No, not a big boozer. He did drink whiskey, though.
Uh-huh.
Do you have any more children?
Okay.
Yeah.
Pam?
Okay.
How old is she?
She just turned 5.
Does
Like-
she have any understanding of what happened to her brother?
The testimony indicated that he had...
Jesse Sr., was your son a drug user?
Okay. Was he a drug user is the question. No, but he smoked a little weed.
No, not especially. He smoked a little marijuana every once in a while.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Now, I'm not going to say like smoking weed is the same as, shooting up heroin, because it's not. It's definitely not. Especially back then, smoking a little weed is, it's definitely not good for probably somebody of his age to be smoking weed. I wouldn't recommend somebody of that age to smoke some weed. It most likely is going to cause some damage to your brain. But does he use drugs? Well, yeah, he smokes weed.
Was he a big boozer?
No, not a big boozer. He did drink whiskey, though.
He's not a big boozer, but he drinks whiskey. Okay. I don't know. Okay. Weed definitely opens up the door to the supernatural. I agree. And not only that, I think nowadays, because the marijuana is legal now, that the state has actually done what it can do to make it or to weaponize it, basically. It has caused an issue with making it so strong that it is basically just a normal psychedelic at this point. Because the whole point and the benefit to it was a psychedelic, but it was one that you could consume fairly often without it causing an ass load of harm to you. But now, because it's so strong, we're starting to see the negative side effects just from marijuana use, especially with things like the concentrates, the edibles, things like Rick Simpson oil, anything like that. You're going to start seeing the negative side effects of regular marijuana use as you would regular psychedelic use, because in my personal opinion, the marijuana has now been weaponized against us.
Do you have any more children?
Yeah.
Pam? How old is she?
She just turned 5.
Does she have any understanding of what happened to her brother?
No, she doesn't understand it. She misses her brother, but she doesn't understand. She knows he's gone, and she says she knows he's in heaven, but to really understand it, no, she don't.
Hi. I would like to know what type of person it is that gets involved with cults.
I don't know. Dr. Nyberg, I want to save you for the bigger question of whether you think this is satanic related. I want to ask Jack Roper that question. Is there a typical kid who gets involved?
I think you have to look at overall view. It can be from all educational perspectives, from those that are really unintelligent, but those that are extremely intelligent, valedictorians. So we have to look at where they're coming from, their background of the family, how the family treats them, have they been abused. So there's a lot of factors you have to consider with each.
One of the defendants stylized himself Damien after the character in The Omen. It's not his given name, but he calls himself Damien. Is that an indicator of anything to you?
Well, Damien, there's also a well-known church. I mean, there's a satanic organization, and the leader of that, his AKA, is also Damien. I won't bring up his name.
What's the dagger you're holding?
Well, when I point out that this kind of stuff is available, you can go to warehouses. There are occult warehouses in the country where you can buy this kind of stuff.
See the skull on top of the rubies? Okay, what else?
And also now there are cases, active cases and dismissed cases out there, but this is one case of an individual. I have his satanic diary, his book of shadows, and this individual was sent threatening letters to President Carter. The U.S. Secret Service was involved with this case. I also have another one where an individual who's in prison right now in Massachusetts, he sent me a letter to get some information on Satanism, but he was also, according to the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, said here that he was involved with a decapitation, and killing and mutilation.
Oh,
yes.
brother. Let me go to Dr. Nyberg. Does what happened in West Memphis smack of Satanism to you?
It's a crime that's associated with Satanism. This is not a typical satanic crime. Typical satanic murder, one would expect as part of a ritual. You would expect an altar. You would expect certain kinds of ritualistic functions to have been performed. You would expect vestments. You would expect lots of other signs. I think this is a very tragic case, one that's not terribly atypical or unusual. I think this is a murder that's perpetrated by some very disturbed young men. And I agree totally with Dr. Levin that these cases are where somebody takes up the identity and wants to be known as a Satanist to condone, to justify what they're doing, which really antecedes, goes way back before anything about Satan. These are disturbed kids who are murderers. This was a mens rea, a criminal mind using Satanism as an excuse.
Jack?
Yeah, I think that's a very good point. And you don't need Satanism as an excuse. There are plenty of others. You can blame pornography, you can blame drugs or alcohol, or maybe even a bad childhood. But Satanism is particularly easy in terms of a justification because it ritualizes. And, you know, even something as hideous as rape and murder can seem wonderful when you envelop it in this mystery of the satanic ritual.
I neglected
Also,
to mention the boys were also, two of the boys were also raped.
That's
by
right.
these perpetrators.
And I mean, you know, it's interesting that Satan himself is seen as a powerful figure. And, you know, as Dr. Nyberg points out, these kids probably were very marginal. They probably weren't getting along very well at home, not doing well at school, dropouts, spiritually as well as physically, and felt very, very powerless. Maybe 20 years ago, they would have stolen hubcaps. But today, in this age of decline of moral responsibility, you know, they'll do a lot worse than that.
Where the hell do they get the idea, though, to do something this brutal?
You can get the idea in a lot of places nowadays. You can get it in comic books. You can get it by watching television. You can get it from your friends. You can get it from attending a meeting of strangers. But I don't think it's the point that Satan per se is the problem. I think, let me point out, in Clifton, New Jersey, not long ago, 3 guys, teenagers, brutally strangled their buddy while they recited Hail Marys. And Jeffrey Lundgren killed 5 people in 1989. He thought he was a prophet. He kind of like had a direct line to God, he thought. This was a radical offshoot of the Mormon church. It isn't Mormonism that we blame. And clearly, we don't blame the Catholic Church either. We shouldn't. The point is that religion and also the occult can be used for good or evil. In this case, it's used to justify something horrific.
Your reaction to the father's
interesting
alibi? The father saying his son?
You know, I'm going to take issue with everybody here. I have to, because, you know, there are a lot of victims of this brutal kind of multiple murder besides just the 3 8-year-old boys. Yeah, I'll tell you who else gets victimized. The family of the, as you can see, of Stevie and the other boys who were brutally murdered. And, you know, sometimes it's also the family of the perpetrator who tries to support and protect his youngster. He may know in his heart that his son is guilty, but, you know, he also knows that everybody will blame him for having created a monster, whether he deserves it or not. So maybe we should be a little bit more tolerant and withhold judgment unless we understand all of the facts of the case.
Okay. Jack, that's a point, though, because what we forget is that you can lead somebody down a path. The ultimate choice and decision, the ultimate responsibility for this murder was not his father. This boy chose to do that, regardless of what those other antecedent causes are.
Let's blame the killers for the crime.
Okay. We have a reporter standing by now in Arkansas who will give us the latest on what's going on in the case. Jim Taylor, you there?
Yes, I am. Harold.
Okay, let me take a break. We'll come to Jim Taylor from KAIT in just a minute. Stay tuned. An update on the triple homicide. The trial going on right now. When kids kill kids, did the devil make them do it? Yes.
I want to know, did the children know who their killers were? Like, were they friends? Did the children know their killers? So, like,
Did Stevie know Jesse or Damien or the other fellow, Jason?
Not to my knowledge, he didn't.
Now, as the case has been reconstructed, Paul, was there a stalking of these particular victims?
In testimony, the mother of one of the victims told the court that a month or 2 prior to the killings, that a man dressed in black had taken a picture of her son, and then during the trial, it was still rather a little bit unclear, but it was prosecution indicated that there had been a photograph or photographs of the young boys and implied that there was some stalking going on.
Are you there, Jim Taylor?
Yes, I am.
From KAIT?
That's interesting.
Well, welcome. What's going on?
Today, more jury selection. 5 people have been chosen so far, 1 man and 4 women, and they're looking for 12 people plus 2 alternates. So,
okay, that's interesting. I did not realize that this Geraldo case was being recorded and released while the trial was happening. That's incredibly interesting.
14 people have to be chosen. 5 have been chosen. And more jury selection this afternoon and tomorrow, I'm sure.
What's the buzz about
night.
Jesse Jr.
Thank you for tuning
testifying
in.
against his two co-defendants?
Well, if you can just give me a moment of time, I can tell you that in Arkansas, the judge in this case appointed a separate attorney to meet with Jesse Jr. to explain what benefits Jesse could receive for his testimony. That attorney met with Jesse Jr. on Tuesday night, and I do know for a fact that Jesse Sr. was with Jesse Jr. whenever those discussions were taking place. There is lots of speculation as to what type of year amount Jesse Misskelley Jr. was offered in exchange for his testimony, but that's a question that I think Mr. Misskelley Sr. could answer, and that's something that a lot of people in our area would like to know. What was the year amount that Jesse Jr. was offered from the prosecution in exchange for his testimony?
Let me ask Jesse Sr. They attempted or are attempting to make a deal with your son to testify against the other two boys who are accused of this triple homicide. How many years did they say they would take off his life plus 40-year sentence in exchange for testimony?
Well, I don't think I should tell y'all. I don't think the lawyer would want me to say that.
Is it a substantial reduction in his sentence?
Yes, sir.
So he would be out when? By his middle adult years?
That I don't know.
You don't want to say a 20-year sentence?
No, it's more than that.
Geraldo, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead, Jim.
I think Mr. Misskelley could give us more insight into what his son was thinking, because he was with his son when the decision process was going on, and we can get a better understanding of Jesse Misskelley Jr., the defendant, if Mr. Misskelley is allowed to elaborate on what they discussed the other night when the offer was made.
You hear him? Dad, why don't you tell us? What were they talking about?
Well, they was talking about telling the truth. And that's what he said he was going to do.
Mr. Misskelley, if I may ask you, sir, is your son holding out for a better deal?
No, he was not.
Do you think your son will change his mind and testify?
That I don't know. I know one thing. They asked him up there if he could walk out the door right now, would he get up and testify? And he said no.
Why did he say no?
He said because he didn't want to get up there and tell a lie.
You know, I have actually thought about doing this. So I do know a couple of people that know Terry Hobbs as a person, like in real life. So I've thought about having them get me in contact with them or with him, because I know Terry Hobbs, Terry Hobbs is of the belief that those three men murdered those little boys. And there's a few other family members that are still in that camp as well. So yeah, I've definitely thought about getting in contact with some of these people. So possibly in the future, keep an eye out. Make sure you're subscribed to my channels here, Rumble, X, all of the places, because I'm sure at some point whoever is still alive, I'm gonna get a hold of at some point and try and get an interview.
And send somebody to prison or death if they weren't guilty. He said he don't know if they're guilty or not because he was not there.
He still maintains he was not there.
Yes, sir.
Oh, he was though. Oh, he was.
I'm sorry, Grandpa Jackie.
It was proven in a trial that he was there.
I think
by
yes,
his
sir.
own testimony.
Yes, sir.
They convicted Jesse Misskelley Jr. based on one thing. That was the confession. There was no physical evidence, none, linking him to the crime scene in any way, shape, or form.
Oh, that's bullshit.
Well, what physical evidence existed?
Very little. Number of hair fibers that we know of, that the investigators will tell us. A few hair fibers and some microscopic clothing fibers.
Jackie, do you have any doubt in your mind that the right guy has been convicted?
Get the hell out of
The
here.
right guy has been convicted. He had all of his testimony. He had any time to back out on what he was saying. And he didn't back out until it came up before trial. And now he wants to back out. His daddy wants to play him ignorant, and everybody else wants to play him ignorant, and it's not ignorant. A man that is not guilty will stand up. He'll stand up. He won't fall in for the police or nobody and confess guilty. He's not a man, though. He's a 7 or 8 year old kid.
That is true. That is true.
He retarded? Is that what Dad is saying?
He functions at an IQ level of 72, an overall IQ.
He won't fall in for the police or nobody.
Okay,
and
hold
confess
on.
Guilty. He's not a man, though. He's a 7 or 8 year old kid.
Is he retarded? Is that what Dad is saying?
He functions at an IQ level of.
Okay, first of all, I think it's funny that the closed captions would not write out retarded. That's also a bit ridiculous. That closed caption is censoring itself. That's ridiculous. Retarded is still a medical term. And yes, Huggy Bear, you are right. That is a bold-faced lie. Jesse Miskelly is not a retard. He does not function at an IQ level of 72. He does not function at an IQ level of 72. In Paradise Lost, the documentary itself, there is a clip of the lawyer himself telling Jesse Miskelly to get a lower score in order for him to avoid the death penalty. So there we go. Have to go to sleep now. Have a wonderful night, everyone. Desert Rain. So it's actually perfect time that you said that. Not a retard. Yes, 100%. Not a retard. So we have just passed 2.5 hour mark. That's exactly where I wanted to wrap it up for the night. So let's see, it's like 11:15 over where I am. So it's getting late. Started this late, so I still wanted to give you guys a good show, but it is getting late. I've still got to go eat dinner and wrap this up. And I've got to finish up getting ready for the show on Friday as well. Got some things around the house to take care of. So we are actually going to get out of here. So I think let's see. Yeah, 31:51. So I'm just going to leave this exactly where it's at. And I'm probably just going to do a show tomorrow so we can finish this up. So, because I want to finish this. I wish I would have known about this whole series in the beginning. That there was the whole thing here. God, and we're so close too. There's only 39 minutes. Now we'll finish this up on the next stream. Thanks, Jacob. It was great. Great stream, Jacob. A very important one. Thank you. I actually, once again, did not intend for this to be a West Memphis 3 stream, because I planned on doing that on Friday, but for some reason I just can't get away from this case, and it's something I don't think I'm ever gonna stop. So what time tomorrow? Tomorrow's gonna be early, so I don't have anything to do other than just stream. So that's all I've got going on tomorrow. So the exact time will be 5:30 p.m. Mountain, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. So it will just be at normal time. So it won't start late. Like I said, I don't have anything else going on tomorrow other than just this. So I'm going to make sure and get everything ready and get ready for an awesome show for tomorrow. So yeah, on that note, I guess make sure and tune in for tomorrow. We'll finish up this West Memphis 3 Geraldo case, and we'll actually get into what I wanted to get into tonight, which is the Stephen Newberry case. And we haven't been able to talk about that case yet, so we're just going to go ahead and dive straight in, because what's interesting is it mirrors the West Memphis 3 so closely. It is so close. So it is oh hell yeah, mountain time. Right on. Yeah, I forgot Arizona has that weird like little cutout where it's like it switches. It's like the only place in the US that does that. But yeah, you're on mountain time now. So yeah, 5:30 p.m. Is when it will be. Probably end up being 5:35 because we're always a couple of minutes late. But yes, 5:30 p.m. Mountain tomorrow, 5:30 p.m. Mountain, 7:30 p.m. Eastern is when we will be streaming tomorrow. So on that note, I would like to just bring this up real quick. Let's see here. So I would like to say thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Rise to Liberty. Honestly, like I said, I deeply appreciate you guys more than I think you'll ever know. And if you want to help out what I'm doing, one of the best ways you can do that is head on over to the Rise to Liberty Master link. You can head on over to the Rise to Liberty Master link, and you can head on down to the donate and subscribe. This show is 100% fan and subscriber listener funded. I'm doing the whole PBS thing, but I'm actually not taking federal funds. I don't take funds from any sort of corporation or anything. It's literally just you guys. I don't take advertising budgets as of yet. There are some things that I'm working on changing. Nothing that's going to change like that. I'm not going to start taking people's money and have to start doing what they say. But we'll get into the channel updates probably tomorrow when we have more time to just sit and chat for a minute. But this is one of the ways that you can help out. So you can head on over to Buy Me a Coffee or Ko-Fi. Both places you can donate one time or monthly. You can donate directly to PayPal, Cash App. I even take Bitcoin, Litecoin. I also take Monero. Go ahead and reach out if those are something that, if that's something you guys want to do. Hell, I'll even take, bullion through the mail. I'll take cash through the mail too if you want to do that. But I totally understand that not everyone can do that. And I absolutely understand. I'm not going to hold that against you. But one of the other good things that you can do is head on over to risetoliberty.store. In fact, our 15% off sale is quickly coming to an end. So head on over to risetoliberty.store. Go pick up some American Mind Control merch. Go pick up some Rise to Liberty merch or my other MK Ultra Mind Control merch. We've got my old 1950s Mind Control design. Got all sorts of fun stuff over there. You use promo code CONTROL at checkout for 15% off your order. That is coming to an end, I believe, this week. No, sorry. It will be the end of next week. Will be the end of the 15% off. So go check that out while you can. We will have new merch coming here soon. But in the meantime, go check that out. Once again, I also understand if you can't make it over there. So if you can't donate, can't sign up for a subscription right now, can't hit the merch store, completely understand. So one of the best things you can do from there is leave a review on Spotify, on iTunes. Hit the like, share, subscribe. All of these things, they help the algorithms. They make sure that the algorithm will send this show out to more people. This is how we get it to grow. This is how we get Rise to Liberty to grow, how there's more viewers, and all of these things. Let's see. So, I will just post the link in the chat. In fact, I should just start doing this. If you just want to go, Huggy Bear, if you want to go to allmylinks.com/rise to liberty, there are all the donation links. Like I said, you can donate to Buy Me a Coffee, Ko-Fi, directly to Rise to Liberty, or you can directly donate to Cash App. So it's really up to you. Like I said, I also accept Bitcoin. So those are the options. I'll just send the master link in the chat. That way you can decide which one is best for you. And on that note, like I said, hit the share, subscribe, all of these things. That gets the show out. It grows the show. And that is one of the most important things, because we need to get this information out to as many people as possible. But on that note, I am running out of steam. It's getting late for everyone. So once again, thank you all so much for tuning in. We will be here tomorrow, 5:30 p.m. Mountain, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. And until then, stay free, my friends.